Okay, we're now live, which means if you have subscribed to this channel, you know this is live because you had a notification and everything. You got told. I'm not really utterly prepared here. I might just have to wander away very quickly. 5 seconds. Oh, it's going to be one of those, isn't it? Okay. So I wanted to have a cup of tea. I wanted to actually have a cup of tea for this one. Comments are open, as always, jump in. It's going to be a little bit of a weird one, this. And I'm sure you'll understand why. But let's dive in and enjoy. Oh, boy. Hello, Andrew Dickinson. Let's have a look. It has the Kit Bus blurb on the title. Oh, I changed it. I did. Okay, let me have a quick look on. I did. I changed it. He says going over to Restream, going to titles. I did. I changed it. It's right there. It says it. Episode 21. Maybe it's just on the promo. Who knows? That'll be the fun and games of StreamYard for you. Okay, let me just put that there. Let's get some audio in. How's day 7 of Corona Apocalypse? It's been a little bit longer than that, mate. Ooh. As you get all sorts of noise from mics and stuff. Ah, dear. Yes. Title is S07, but it also says Spotlight on. Oh, okay. Not entirely sure why. Hello there, Wayne Mason. Welcome along. This will be a slightly truncated show, but like I say, I shall explain why. Fun and games. Dan Berry's here. Okay. Yeah. Wow. What a strange week. How incredibly odd. But this is the way of the world now, isn't it? But we'll dive into this. Karma Savages, hello. Andrew Dickinson, so Hotel Shell should be next week. Yeah, I don't think so. Not this time. Right. Welcome to Talkin Con, a cup of tea with Englishman in San Diego. It's the top of the hour. Let's have a look at just kind of. Ooh, I'm getting slammed for something I said on Twitter. What else is new? Basically, I said something about The Hobbit. I'm not a fan. I am a huge fan of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I'm a huge fan of the extended editions of Lord of the Rings. I went to see The Hobbit, The Unexpected Journey, and excuse me, and I liked it. It had potential, but I was still struggling with how on earth they could possibly do this kid's book in the space of 3 big films. And then there was The Desolation of Smaug, which was okay-ish. It was a nice adventure romp. Some interesting action sections in it. It was all right. And then it was the Battle of the Five Armies, which I actively hated because it was like a battle. It was like a Warcraft cutscene. It was awful. Sorry, Kitty, if you're watching, but yeah, not a fan. But there we go. Right. Okay. Andrew English, I think he's getting his dates wrong on that one because he's saying that Con's moving to the second half of the week in colliding. Second half of the year, sir, I think is what you're trying to say there. What's this list of snake? Apparently, the coronavirus jumps animals to people if plants get infected. The end is near. You see a coughing ficus, seek shelter. Okay, I'm absolutely certain that's not necessarily true. Solicitor Smegs joining us as well. Hey, and good afternoon. Hope everyone is doing well as possible. Super Cat Chick, hello there. Right, this is what the new reality is. We don't have any cons. We don't have any con news. We have virtual cons. I hope you enjoyed what I did yesterday, because I should have been bringing you this from MCM Birmingham. Myself and Caroline should have been either in the outside atrium as they're breaking it down, or we should have been in a hotel bar or somewhere. We should have been there. But as it happens, yeah, MCM Birmingham got cancelled or postponed until later on in the year. So I did a virtual con. I basically had the panels all lined up. I had the people who were going to be on the panels. So I rang them up or messaged them and said, would you be up for doing a virtual con or just doing something with the same kind of structure of the panels that were being put forward by MCM? And would you be up for doing them? And 3 of them got back to me. So we would have had, well, we did have J.K. Woodward, we had Kit Buss, and we had Craig Rousseau. And we had a great time. I did 3 panels, all around 35, 50 minutes long, and had a great time, which means if you are a subscriber to the channel, you saw those yesterday. If you enjoyed them, please like, uptick, share, spread the word, because I thought they were good chats, especially the one with Kit Buss. I thought that was fun. But do share the YouTube link. I'm going to do something. Well, they're all on my Twitter. Yeah, I had a lot of fun doing them. So it was all sorts of fun and game. Let's have a look at this. I think Kit peaked at just over 90 on Periscope. It was well received. Was that particular conversation? It was a lot of fun. Yeah, we did a lot of chat. Dan Berry, should I reach out to Bill Sienkiewicz? I thought I already had. I've got his email address and we reached out to him. We were going to have, right, okay, double back. Dan Berry, they were fun panels to watch. Right, let's talk about what's actually going to be happening then in terms of the show and what we're going to do on a Sunday. I have been reaching out to guests. At the end of the day, comic artists are now not so distracted by going to comic conventions. So they do kind of have things to do available. Definitely had less background noise. Have you thought about getting a plug-in mic with noise attachment when you're on the move? I'm not too sure what that's on about now. Definitely have less background noise. I mean, I've got the mic. I don't know. So let's just message me about that. I'd like to know what you mean. Do I usually have background noise upstairs? Oh, okay. Right. The conversation we were going to have with Mike Armstrong, I was hoping that was going to be this week. I messaged him and he seemed optimistic, at which point he turned around and said, there are still things to nail down for Reed Pop, not just with the rescheduled Emerald, but also with New York Comic Con. He sounded stressed. So I'm just going to leave him alone. He turned around and said that he would come in and join us in a couple of weeks' time. We'll see how that goes. Oh, when you're at cons or outside. Ah, okay. Yeah, well, it's background noise, isn't it? It's just the way it works. Plug-in mic, yeah, I think we'll get something sorted out for that. Let's have a look at this comments. We've got ourselves Toby Tolentino. Morning from a stir-crazy San Diego. I can imagine. Aaron Neighbors, hola from San Diego. Andrew English obviously saying hello. But Andrew English is asking the question, which I think we'll have to have a think about. Do you actually think there will be cons for 2020 or will we have to wait to 2021? That's down to this health crisis and how long it extends on to. 2 weeks ago, I turned around and said, let's see what happens in 2 weeks. Let's see where we are. And the graph, the numbers just keep climbing. you can tell by the reactions from our governments and overlords that we are seeing a reaction that this is not something that you just put in place for shits and giggles. Here in the UK on Friday at 5:30 in the afternoon or early evening, which to me makes no sense, we had the bars, restaurants, theatres, cafes closed here in the UK. Basically, they turned around and said that they would need to be closed as soon as possible and would not be opening up the next day. Caroline, as you know, is a shift manager for a bar chain here in the UK. Some of those are going into work as they want to kind of keep the pub ready to open at a moment's notice, but we're looking anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks on that. It's just everything's just turned upside down. But these are measures that you put in place when there's something serious happening. This isn't something where you just go, it's not on a whim. These are serious decisions which should ram home and emphasize to everybody how serious the situation is. Now, I think we all know of people who are going out and interacting and treating this like this is just a long bank holiday weekend. And it really isn't. Excuse me. Bit of a dry throat. Okay. So that kind of begs the question what we're going to do with this show. Like I say, we can get guests in. But when we don't have a guest, then it's a very sparse show. We don't really have anything to talk about, which kind of made me think at first to possibly put Talkin Con and Englishman in San Diego on hiatus until we get the cons back, until we get some kind of movement. Don't worry. I can imagine what your reaction is right now. No, I'm not. I'm going to keep coming back and I'm going to keep doing this purely because I think we need a communication. We need to come together, even if it's in this virtual space. Now, that does mean that I think we may have a little bit of a round table. I may open up the. I could put the invite in the comments right now, and you could join me, and you could talk about what your feelings are, what you're doing to stave off the boredom and the kind of the bouncing off the walls. But we are going to keep going. I'll try and get as many guests as I can. What's been really encouraging is the people that I spoke to yesterday, Craig Rousseau, J.K. Woodward, Kit Buss, they turned around and said, well, we had a really good time on this. We'll come back. So we've got some kind of guests that would come back. It's just, we want to try and keep momentum going. We want to try and keep, I want to try and keep you guys engaged and you involved. So that's the plan. That is the plan. We are going to keep going with it. I think, like I say, I'm going to try and get you guys more involved. I am tempted to put the link for the invite and just say, right, if you want to come on and just say hi, you're more than welcome. Just so you can talk out any problems, any stresses that you have, any concerns, any anxiety, because we're here for you. We are, at the end of the day, and have been from the very start, a con community. It's something that kind of feeds off something that I've been thinking about Comic-Cons for a while, which is that while they initially were trade conventions, if you actually take the word Comic-Con or comic convention and take the word comic out and put sofa or I don't know, yo-yo, a yo-yo convention, that's what it is. They are selling you a sofa or a yo-yo. They are selling you comics and the content at these shows. There is a definite transaction. There's the people on the other side of the table that are there to sell you something. They are there to get their word out of what they're doing, but they are there to earn. It is a trade convention. However, it's safe to say that on the other side of the table, on our side of the table, there's a family. We go to these conventions now, not just to see the people on the other side of the table, but to see each other and to embrace our fandoms. And that's what we do. We can't do that. So we have to stay strong and we have to still come together as a community. And I think that's what we'll do with this show on a Sunday. If we can get a guest, even better. So then we can talk about things and talk about projects and things that people are getting up to. Like I say, Bill Sienkiewicz has been threatening for a while. So, you know, who knows, we may get him on. Let's have a look at this. Super Cat Chick. Yeah, let's go through a couple of the comments. Super Cat Chick, I'd even just be happy talking about what people are reading. And this may be a perfect time to get creators to come on and pitch new projects. Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I could reach over and get the books I've been reading at the moment. In fact, bear with me. I'm going to do it. 5 seconds. Oh. Yeah, I've got a couple here. Let's see what I've got in my current pull list. Oh, right. I mean, I can certainly point this one at you. This is a lot of fun. Oh, hello. If you've not read this yet, let me just get that. Thank you very much, Adi, for that comment, Super Cat Chick. I would kill to get any of these guys on. And here's the annoying thing. That man right there, Tom King, he's now following me on Twitter after I mentioned coming on the podcast. I messaged him and he hasn't read it. Love to get Tom King on. I'd love to get all these guys on. Tom King, Mitch Gerrard, Evan Chanier. Very good book indeed. Very much comes in the same vein as Mr. Miracle and The Vision, which I adored those books. I'm buying books. I'm buying comics. Hopefully you are too. I think the other thing that's going to prove slightly awkward as well in terms of what I do, at the end of the day, I'm now not going to be earning. So I'm kind of stuck. Obviously, what I got into DJing because it was something I'm very good at. I hate to be modest about this, but I am very good. I am good at what I do. But everyone has birthdays. Everyone has anniversaries. Everyone has weddings. Not at the moment, because we're not gathering. We can't have licensed bars. So I'm kind of stuck. So actually earning is a bit awkward. So I will not touch the Patreon money. That's not what it's there for. But I've got to try and find something to do to keep me occupied and earning. So expect something to come down the line where I have to get something up and running. Anyway, apparently it will be a 12-week lockdown after today's press conference, which Boris Johnson has just put out. I know he's going live around this time, around 6 o'clock. Veronica, I agree with Super Cat Chick. It's a great idea. A friend just shared an article from Sci-Fi Wire about 8 mid-sized comic runs to read while in quarantine isolation. I am going to be digging out Doomsday Clock this week, and I don't know if I'll be hate reading it or just trying to re-evaluate that book. But yeah, I think I'll be doing Doomsday Clock. I wouldn't mind doing the back end of the Darth Vader Star Wars run, because I have them right there, and I wouldn't mind going through those. There's some runs I could go through, and if you can suggest any, by all means, let me know. Especially, maybe I haven't read them. I could do House and Powers of X, because I quite enjoyed those. I've been really getting back into those recently in the last couple of days. So there we go. Oh, hang on a second. What's that? I'm sorry, but when I see people saying lol, here we go. Blood is thicker than water. Nerdiness is freaking molasses. Absolutely. Right on, brother. Absolutely. Yeah, Veronica, we started telecommuting on this past Monday for work. We've been preparing to do work from home for a few weeks, so we weren't caught too off guard. I did quite like the tweet that went out, which it was along the lines of, this is where we find out that those meetings, the video calls instead of meetings, which could have easily been emails, or it was something along the lines of, yeah, you know, when they keep trying to get you in to do a meeting or trying to do a video chat, yeah, you can just do it as an email. But there we go. Super Cat Chick, we just pulled up our pull this Friday. I'm not sure when that'll happen again. Agreed. Prior to the lockdown, which I wasn't entirely sure was going to happen, a bar lockdown, I didn't expect that to happen, which meant I did have a very expensive book I ordered, which was the Trigon Empire, which was something which was in my formative years of reading. It was that and the big hardback of The Star's My Destination, the adaptation of the classic sci-fi book. I had those two. I was aged, I must have been 6 or 7. And I think Mum just picked them up because they were pretty books and they were pretty pictures. There you go. And that's a 30 quid book. That's going to hurt when I pick that up. Plus the other books that I've ordered, it's not going to be pleasant. I totally understand that comment. Not sure when it'll happen again. Toby Tony, it reminds me I need to get Star Wars subscription at my comic book shop. I have got the first 2 issues, but I can't bring myself to read them because I don't know. It feels like I spent all that money on the Star Wars run and then they just rebooted and restarted again. I'm stuck with that. Andrew Dickinson, we had to abandon Skype as it's under so much strain. Oh, good Lord. Super Cat Chick, I'm so glad I have Comixology Unlimited right now. Really? Comixology have jacked their prices up by, I believe, 60%. If you can afford that, fair enough. Good grief. That was a price hike and a half, and they did it just as everything started kicking off. And it felt just a little bit too hard work. That was this. Ask for donations in lieu of a cover charge to Upper Castle. I think if I want to put a charge up, it'll be for my DJing, which is why I think I'm going to do something with a page which I created ages ago called Read Proper Music. And I want to do like a virtual DJ set. Admittedly, everyone's doing them. But the idea would be that I would just sit down, turn on my DJ setup and do like a live stream for 4 hours as like I was DJing in a pub. Take requests, playing stuff that I like. Hopefully people will like it. And I don't know, it's something I'm going to have to look at a little bit further down the line. So there we go. Dan Perry, Zoom does top Skype. Possibly, but I'm hearing that Zoom's struggling at this point as well. So, Mr. Smeg, do you think this crisis might highlight their needs to be an online pre-order standard in the comic industry? Why has no one called Amazon? I want to try and find. Let me see if I can find it. It'll be around somewhere. It's being posted by everyone. I'm sure that you've seen it. Let me just bring up the Image Comics Twitter feed. If you haven't seen this, I'll be stunned. This was a piece of one piece that was done by Alex Cox, Scotty Young, and Blambot as well. Let me bring this up because I think this is just absolutely awesome. Application window, that one. There we go. If you've not seen this yet, because this is brilliant. Support your local comic book shop. And I think this is just absolutely fantastic. In these uncertain and lonely times, there's no better friend than your local comic shop. And they need you as much as you need them. How can we help each other? The answer is easy. Start a pull box. But how's it work? It's easy. Simply call, email your local comic book shop, find out how their subscription service works, and sign yourself up. Then spend some money on the greatest form of entertainment in human history, stripping. Comics. Many stores are offering mail order and or home delivery. Take advantage of this generous service and enjoy. Support your local comic shop. Absolutely. I thought that was, I mean, it was shared left, right, and center. but it was quite right to be shared because it was awesome. So yeah, support your local comic book shop. Absolutely. Andrew Dickinson, can you do that? You're going to get a lot of copyright strikes. I don't think I can because I'm using it as a demonstration. It's not I'm not highlighting it as my own content. No, it doesn't quite work like that. So I'm okay. It makes sense. Let's have a look at this. Even though I have 2/3 of the original Marvel Star Wars comic run, never collected the Dark Horse Star Wars books. New canon Star Wars books are really refreshing to read. I really loved Darth Vader, but then again, I'm a Kieran Gillen fan. Really like Dr. Aphra. Dr. Aphra is just amazing. Oh, okay. I'm going to let's have a look at this. Under English, I heard that Netflix has been reduced from HD to SD tail bandwidth. No, it's something that they're suggesting. They are dropping their bandwidth, but not by that much. It's not going to go to SD, but they are going to drop the bandwidth enough. They're looking at load and seeing how over the European market, that's where they're doing. But they're not going to SD, not going that far. Dan, can you please let me know about this? One comic book publisher shutting down for the time being. The one thing I have heard is about Image. Image, understandably, they put out a lot of books, and they recognise that the strain not only on the reader for anyone who wants to collect all these books, but also the comic book shops that need to stock all of them. There was a great open letter from Eric Stevenson from Image Comics, which basically said, we will do what we can to help you as a retailer, and we will help you as a comic book fan. I thought that was a really refreshing. I thought it was a cool presentation. I thought they basically did what they could to help retailers, but they are limiting how many books they're releasing now each month, so it's not too much of a strain on the outgoing of a comic book shop and also on a reader as well. I think that was good. It was a good move on Eric's part. Missouri is also ordering all non-essential businesses close or require employees to work remotely. This starts tomorrow. That's what we've kind of got here, although we don't have the it's not non-essentials, but certainly the businesses which have gatherings of more than 50. Whether we'll actually have businesses do the same, I can imagine it's on its way. It's on its way. I agree with sporting comic book shops, and it's great for hardcore readers, but the only way to expand the industry is to make the books easily available. A noob is unlikely to go to a comic shop. They've tried to move comics into other more accessible realms like Target and into supermarkets. It's just a case of people have to buy them. They have to buy the books, and that's where things get awkward because people aren't buying them. But us fans are. So yeah, let's have a look at this. Oh, hang on a second. Aspen. Okay. Aspen suspending all comic publishing indefinitely due to coronavirus pandemic. They didn't have a great deal of money to float around in the first place. Aspen is a very, very small independent comic book shop. Publisher, sorry. They are literally out of the back of a garage. They're also supporters of one or two problematic artists and writers, but that's a whole other ballgame. That's a whole other conversation. Yeah, so it's yeah, thank you very much indeed for that, Dan. Right, a couple of comments that were coming in terms of just what I can do to support myself, in terms of doing perhaps a live DJ stream. And oh, right, can I do that? Are you going to get a lot of copyright strikes? That's what Andrew Dickinson was talking about. Are you going to get a lot of copyright strikes about the music? Yes, if I stream to Facebook. Yes, if I stream to YouTube. There are one or two places you can stream to where it gets a little under the radar. But yeah, I'd have to do a little bit more inquiring and searching around on best way to do it. But yeah, it's I'd like to do a live YouTube stream of DJing, but the only downside is, like I say, yeah, you get hit with copyright left, right, and center. I've tried it before. I did a quiz night, and I live streamed it to a wider audience. Safe to say, those videos did not stay up long. I did get slapped down particularly hard. So that's where we are in terms of this stream. It's a case of what we can bring you in terms of content. I would love to bring you as much as I can. And certainly when it comes to guests, that's my main thing now. So if you know of any comic creator that you really want to see live on the show, if you want, at the end of the day, if there's somebody that you would like me to have a conversation with, hit them up on Twitter, hit them up on social media, and just say, talk to this guy. It'd be an interesting conversation just for 40 minutes or so, or 30 minutes, just to talk about comics, Comic Cons, relationship with fans. Yeah, because that's, Leonard, get to Gail Simone. Yeah, no. At the end of the day, she is very, very difficult to get hold of because she's a busy person. She would be fun, but it's just how busy some of these names are. I mean, she turned around and said that she'd be interested, but it's just a case of finding out when. I think she turned around and said that she'd be more available at the back end of the year. But then again, that was 2 weeks ago, and the world has changed. So who knows? Yeah, I could try again. I'll hit these people again. But anybody else, anyone that you're a fan of, jump in on their social media and just, yeah, let's see if we can get some guests on the show. That's the plan. Certainly in the next couple of weeks, we will be speaking to Mike Armstrong, but I've been promising that for a while. So I'm just going to hang fire on Mike and just let him come on when he can. I can imagine Reed Pop at this point are staring down the barrel of a gun. They don't know what to do. At the end of the day, they can postpone as much as they like. But if this rolls on into the summer, that's going to really, it's like we were saying earlier, the crunching of all of those conventions in the back half of the year is just going to be insane. Portsmouth got postponed. That's clashing with another convention. We have MCM London, which is going to be clashing with an anime convention in London as well. And as it happens, MCM has a very strong anime following. So that's going to kind of divide and conquer. It's just going to be very, very awkward. So we're just going to have to keep an eye on each other. We're going to have to possibly, support each other in terms of if I put the link out. I mean, let's jump on the comments now. If I put the link, the invite link, in the comments right now, would you join me? Yes or no? Come on. How open to being on camera are you? Wayne Mason, UK Games Expo and Wales Comic Con the same weekend as Midlands 2, 21st, 23rd of August. Sarita P, the Javits Center in New York, is currently being used as a makeshift hospital. That's big. That's just, it shows the scale and it just shows just how insane this is. Supercat Chick is jumping on something that Andrew Dickinson posted earlier. I think it would be incredibly irresponsible for SDCC to have the hotel sale anytime soon. People aren't sure their incomes are secure. It's very scary. Correct. Also, you have to find out when and if it's going to be going ahead. This is interesting. Toby saying probably not possible, but would be good if some of these smaller conflicting cons could merge. That's actually happening for one in the UK, and I can't remember which one it is. I'm certain that Wayne might tell me, or Andrew might tell me. There is a Comic Con here in the UK that is arranged to, I think it's with Liverpool Comic Con, but basically they're taking up a corner. They are setting up and they are merging. You know what I mean? I think that's an interesting perspective. I think that's up for it. Okay. Just seeing depressing BBC News. 18-year-old is among the 48 new corona-related deaths in England, latest figures show. This isn't affecting just old people. Stay safe, people. There's also the flight ban as well. Yeah, that doesn't help. I think SCCC should bite the bullet and announce that it's off. Not yet. I'm still hoping amongst us. I'm still hoping. That's all we can do. Okay. I think I've witted on long enough. But all I can say is, for everyone, I think we need to be supportive of each other. We need to be there for each other. If you see somebody that is clearly struggling on social media with stress or with anxiety, that they're struggling to put sentences together, they're struggling to articulate, slide into their DMs or just go into their comments and just, even on Facebook, on anything, and just go, do you want to chat? Do you want to talk? Just be there for each other. Because if we're not, then I think that would be even worse than this virus, that we would not be there for each other as a community, as human beings. I think we have to be. So there we go. Okay, everyone. Oh, Michael P's joined us just as I'm about to head off. Right. Next weekend, then. So I may be doing a live DJing stream. I'd love you to join me. I'll probably do that on Friday and Saturday night, because at the end of the day, I've got to have something to do just to occupy my time. But also, HWD Hospital Radio. Now, this might be something you may be aware that I do. I do a hospital radio show for Dewsbury and District Hospital here in Yorkshire. It's held on the second floor. It's just around one of the side corridors, just around the corner from the mortuary. Not that we know about it. It's okay. It's a really nice professional studio, putting out a really good stream of radio shows. However, it is a setup which is volunteer only, which means we don't get any money from. Hang on a second. Michael P is celebrating his birthday. Happy birthday, Michael. Everyone's saying happy birthday, and quite right too. I had no idea. I didn't twig. Happy birthday, Michael P. Have yourself a great day, sir, or the best you can. Happy birthday to you, sir. Right, okay. Distracted myself. We don't get any money from the NHS Trust. All of the upkeep for the station is done through volunteer work. We restore the gear ourselves. We install the studio ourselves. We basically look after it ourselves. But that means we have to raise money for licenses, for equipment, for bits and pieces, just to keep the lights on more than anything. Next week, from 8 p.m. on Friday, which is the I want to say 25th, but that's probably wrong. Hang on a second. Friday 27th through till Sunday the 29th. Basically, we're going to have a warm body in the studio for 48 hours. We don't usually we have programming on throughout the course of the day on a Saturday, and most evenings between 6 and 10. I do a nerd show on a Thursday called A Little Slice of Nerd between 8 and 10. But we're doing this live broadcast. I'm going to be doing between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. on Saturday morning, which I think will equate to about 8 o'clock on the West Coast, 10 o'clock on the East. So if you have insomnia here in the UK, or if you're listening in the US, if you want to tune in on hwdhospitalradio.com, by all means, listen along. I'm going to be doing a slight different version of my Sunday show, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be posting a lot on social media about this as well, so expect to be extremely spammed in the next week or so. I'm just doing my best to raise as much money as we can. So yeah, please do join me for that. I think it's going to be a bit of fun. So there we go. That's hwdhospitalradio.com. You can find out more information. And like I say, I'm going to be 2 a.m. Pacific, 2 a.m. GMT to 5 a.m. GMT. Around 4:30, things get a bit scatty. The neurons start firing. It's going to be interesting. So please do join us. Yes, the clocks go forward. We lose 2 while 3, but yeah, this is on the Friday night, Saturday morning. So it's still going to be on the current time frame. So there we go. Right. Other than that, I think that's pretty much me. I did want to finish on something else as well. I've been promising to do the double clicks live in Leeds on my Patreon for ages, and I'm currently working through mastering through it. As it happens, the girls used my desk, but they kind of mixed it slightly off, which means the load going into the card is slightly peaking. It's a little bit too loud, so I'm just trying to compress it, take some of the harsh bass note out of it, and just make it audible. I'm about 5 songs in to this 12 song set list, and as soon as I get it done, I will get that up. Yeah, that's something I've been threatening for a while. If you're not aware of the double clicks, the reason why I bring it up is because I'm going to finish and I'm going to say my farewells by playing you a video I recorded on the night to introduce you to the double clicks. I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to be back next week. Like I say, I'm going to be sharing a lot on social media over the course of the next couple of days about what I'm going to be getting up to with this DJing thing, what I'm going to be getting up to with the hospital radio, and also I'll do my best to get a couple of good guests for next week's show and the shows going forward, because I want to keep this going. I want our community to come together, and I want us to support each other the best we can. Okay. Thank you very much indeed. Once again, Michael P., a happy birthday to you. Have yourself the best of a great Sunday that you can. From me to you, I'm going to play you this. This is the double clicks. If you are not aware of them, go to the double clicks on social media. They're a great double act. This was their first European tour. Basically, they just contacted a bunch of fans and said we would like to organize concerts because we were going to go to the Edinburgh Fringe, which they did, except it was to a bunch of Americans that were there for another show. They did another show in that area and nobody knew what they were talking about. These were for actual fans, and they took up resident in like games workshops and nerd shops and cafes, and they just put on these mini concerts. The Leeds one was the first one they did. So I'm going to play you this. I hope you enjoy it. Take care, look after yourself, and from me to you, I'll see you next Sunday. Take care.
We've all been there. We've all been there. Here we go.
Oh, hang on. Helps if I actually turn some stuff off. Hang on a second. Let's see what happens.
We've all been there.
Oh. Okay. 1 second. Let's see if I can do it this way, because clearly that that would have been a really great intro, but I kind of cocked it up. Hang on a second. Let me go this way and put it into here. All right. Take care. We'll see you soon. This is the double clicks.
We've all been there. We've all been there. Here we go.
Is it not playing the audio? Typical. Okay, I'm just going to give up now. Yep, no sound. You see, this is where you kind of hoped that something would work, and it hasn't done. All right. Take care, everyone. I'm going to abandon this and cry in a corner. We'll see you on the other side. I might just post this on Facebook so you can hear it because it's worth checking out. Okay. See you later, everybody.